Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into Natas, a war game from OverTheWire which is designed to sharpen your web security skills. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Now let's jump in and start hacking away through Natas. The level I'm going to do will be level 26. Which involves one of the most important topics and concepts. That is PHP Serialization attack. Although if you have already followed my channel, I have already covered this topic with some kinds of CTF machines. Anyway, I'd like to take this opportunity to explain what PHP Deserialization attack means and how to conduct such attack. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. We can copy this address as starting point, and then we can head over to Kali Linux and paste into address bar of the browser, and we are required to provide the username and password. We can get its password from notebook, paste into password field, sign in. No problem. So now I think apparently this application of Natas 26 is providing us to draw a line. And to draw a line, we need to submit two pairs of coordinates, for example, like 1, 50, 60, whatever, draw. As you can see, a red line has been drawn over this black box. Even if you try several times, you can know that we can draw multiple lines. For example, like 20, 40, 70, 80, draw. As you can see, two lines have been drawn over this black box. So I think from this point we can guess the cookie involved this process. Otherwise, we cannot get two lines or multiple lines. So we need to see what's going on exactly. And here, this app is providing us its source code. No problem. Without any hesitation, we can have a look at this code. And we only focus on the middle sections of this page or PHP code and define a class logger and then define the function show image, draw image, draw from user data function, and store data function, but all of them will not be executed until they are called somewhere else, right? So let's continue our scrolling down, and here actually the program started, and here start the session, and we'll to check to see whether the cookie cookie is array, and this array to see whether this array contains the key drawing, and then or here this is a logical operation, or we'll check to see whether we submit the coordinates manually by the way of get method, and then here construct the path. So under image directory natas underscore session ID and also its extension PNG, and then we'll call the function. This time we'll call the function draw image. This one. So now we need to have a look at this function. So the file name, and we'll create the box or canvas, right? And this is the size of the canvas, and then we'll call this function to draw data. the data is from user, is submitted from the user. And here there are two blocks of if statements. If user submits the coordinates, I mean 2 pairs of coordinates, and then we'll allocate the color to this line, because later we will draw a line. And here the hex color stands for red heavy. Just you have seen over here, red heavy. And then we'll draw the line. This is a built-in PHP function, and its color is this one. We set in this line. Next, we'll need to check whether the cookie has cookie, and the cookie contains the key drawing. If contains this key, and then we'll do on serialization. This is the built-in function. Because let me go back to the browser and open developer and go to inspect, go to storage. Sorry about this pop-up window. Go to storage, and you can see the 2 key value pairs in the cookie, and this one looks like is encoded. Maybe we can go to CTF to decode. CTF. And we can paste over here. So here maybe this is base 64. Base 64 from base 64. And then we can get this is the original object format. Okay, so now let's go back. Again, I'd like to repeat it again. The drawing, this is the encoded data by base 64, and then we'll need to convert it back to original object format by the function of onserialization, okay, or onserialize. And then we'll loop over the object. Object is array, and this array contains the key like x1, y1, x2, y2, and its corresponding value. And then we can allocate the same color and draw the line. So I think basically this function is doing 2 things. The first, if the user submits coordinates, and then we'll draw the line. However, also we'll check to see whether cookie has drawing key, and then we'll try to convert this serialized data back to the original object format, and then draw this line for us. Okay, so let's continue, and then we'll call the function show image. Show image is simple, just display this image, okay, and over the web page or HTML markup by the tag image, okay, and then we'll call the function store data. This would be just save the data to the cookie, so before save all coordinates into cookie, this data or this array needed to be converted or needed to be serialized, and then needed to encode by the base 64. So I think I've already explained the workflow of this PHP code. So where shall we find the vulnerability with this application? I mentioned at the very beginning, the vulnerability lies in the onserialization. Yeah, as you can see over here, draw from user data serialize. Will serialize data from the cookie, and this, is vulnerable. So what is PHP object serialization or de-serialization? First of all, let's cover what object deserialization means within PHP or some other programming language. When an object in PHP, like for example, this, if we can initialize this object or some array object, in such object, if such object needs to be stored or transferred, typically needs to be transformed into string first, like JSON. And this can be done through the function of serialize function. Okay, so when the object gets moved or read back to the application, it needs to be deserialized. Here you can see over here, will be deserialized. Okay, or in other words, needs to be converted back to string, array or object. And when this happens, the object will be instantiated, and then some magic function like double double underscore construct or destruct would be called. Okay, so we can take advantage of this process to some arbitrary command, something like retrieving password for the next level. Okay, so how to do next? We need to construct we need to construct the class, and also we need to initialize the object for this class, and this should be serialized. And then by manipulating the cookie, this cookie with our manipulated serialized data, and then because the application will do unserialize, and then the code can be executed. Okay, so let me show you what I mean in action. Actually, we can copy this part, and we can call it like my object. Okay, PHP, and we can paste. We need to use the header and also the footer of the PHP. Otherwise, this code cannot be interpreted by PHP engine on the server, on the target properly. Okay, so it's done, and I think init message or session started, we do not need to care, we do not need to change, but this one I'd like to change to something like we can get the function. I cannot remember very clearly. PHP retrieve file content. So the function, this one. So we can open link, and can I get the example? Yes. So file contents, we can copy, and PHP and echo okay. Now we want to retrieve this file. Let me get it. Okay, here, and we need to use single quote because outer is double quotes, so we can paste over here. Okay, and also we need to change the path because we need to access this file later. And then we can save we can save this file to this information to this one, to under image, okay, where the image. So we can, for example, like limit to CCC, PHP, this doesn't matter. So now, okay, we need to use curly brace to close up this curly brace, and also we need to have one more curly brace to close up this curly brace, and this should be complete definition for the class. Next, we can echo, or we need to initialize the object, like a new, maybe we just simply object, and we can new logger, okay, and now we can echo, and we can get, we need to serialize. So how to serialize? We just simply copy, paste over here, and we need to use semicolon. Okay, so of course this time it's not drawing. We want to serialize our created objects. So I think that's it. We need to run our program to test whether there is any error with this PHP file. There is error, no problem. So now we can lines 11. Oh, I miss the semicolon in the end. I think this is the issue. Now we can write and quit again. PHP. Oh, I always call Python my object. Oh, there is another error. So maybe I need to remove additional parentheses. Now we can write and quit again. This doesn't matter. So, so logger. Oh, I think we do not need to pass this argument or parameter. So now run our program again. Undefined, not OGB. I misspelled this variable name obj. Instead, now we can run again, and we can get this serialized data. Now we can trigger this request again, but before we do that, we need to turn on the proxy and launch Bubble Suite. Click next. Next, start Bubble Suite. Now we can, make sure to turn on the intercept option. Press enter. So now we can get the intercept. We can remove original value of the drawing and replace it by our manipulated serialized data, and then we can forward. Okay, and we can turn off intercept option. So just now my object, so CC, now we can access this file, and this file should contain the password for the next level. Yes, it does work. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.